We will show you our parts of some of them. You'll be pleased to know that we won't be showing you all of them. Here are parts of shows that have to do with issues that we've spoken to over the years. We've had a number of white supremacists on our program over the years. We believe that if you give people light, they'll find their own way. And if people are actually holding on to a bigoted philosophy like this, by all means, we should know who they are. Let them speak. It's better to see them so that we may be alerted as to who's out there and what's being taught. This, however, was truly different. Here are parents who are teaching their children, who can hardly speak, to be racist. This is happening. Watch this.
You're racist and you're proud of it, I think.
Yes, I am.
Do you use the in your household?
All the time.
All the time.
We don't use the word black man or black person. My kids don't even know what a black person is. Mm-hmm. You're a man or a woman.
You don't like... No.
Point.
Yeah.
Tell him to point one of them out.
Mm-hmm. Can you point to one?
Danny, point it in.
Did you? Yeah, just when you want them to. They won't make you proud, right, Gramps?
Whites fear violence from us. We do not have a history of killing white people. White people have a history of killing us. You are afraid that if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us.
I'm so sick and tired of this chip that you're carrying on your shoulder. We have bent over backwards, we have done backflips to make you feel equal, and yet we've done everything. A perfect example is in the federal government. If you and I get the exact same rating for a position, do you know what? You get it. And do you know why? Because you're black.
I don't believe in racial quotas. I don't believe that spoils in American society should be based strictly on the basis of skin color, and that there should be a certain number of positions reserved to a certain ethnic group.
All those heads that got broken in Birmingham, Alabama, Rosa Parks, all that courage, all that tenacity means nothing today. We shall overcome what?
The only way to be human is to be human together. And the only way we are going to survive is to survive together.
We feel live and let live, that's fine. My question is...
No, you don't think live and let live.
For the men.
The laws are against me. We can't get married. They got to go make a commitment. I can't have dental and medical. Hey, you know, you better go and find out why I upset you so much, because I make love to her.
I am the mother of a gay son. And are any of you trying to tell me here that my son is a lesser person because he's a homosexual?
This is the Palladium. This is London.
I would like to ask the people who are concerned with the education of our children, why do you have to place that emphasis on the sexual act? Why can you not teach them that there's a whole range of sexuality? Teach them about loving, teach them about caring, teaching them about values.
The issue here in the United States of America is who has the right to decide. This is not a government question.
I would just like to say there are so many people out there that cannot even have babies. Why don't they give them up for adoption?
I'd like to just respond to that, because I think that women do make the choice to continue their pregnancies, to have the babies, and to give them up for adoption. But that choice should not be made by people in the street. It should be made by the woman involved, and it must be her choice to make.
At least she's admitting it's a baby. At least she's admitting it's a baby that is being killed and that it's should be placed for adoption.
What I said was continue a pregnancy and have the baby.
Thank you.
Correct.
You don't have a frog baby. It's not a frog or a carrot that's being killed. It's a baby.
I am fully aware of that.
May I have it?
Mr. Terry, since I have had a baby, and I don't believe you have.
Thank you. I
I'm
wasn't.
fully aware.
Continuing this look at Donahue shows down through the past 29 years that have spoken to issues, as you can see, many of them powerfully controversial and emotionally charged. It was on our stage that the parents of a baby who had been rejected by a hospital in California for a heart transplant learned that a heart was to be made available to their child. You'll remember it was Loma Linda Hospital that this baby came to with a heart that would not allow this baby to survive another month or two. And they rejected the child because the parents weren't married. There was some history of smoking marijuana, and outrage resulted from the denial of the hospital to treat the child. Well, when the roof fell in on Loma Linda, they said, all right, but we've got to get a heart. It happened while the baby's parents were on the Donahue show. Watch this.
You've read about baby Jessie. I want to show you right from the home album here. Look at this. There's Papa. Proud mother. Look at this child of God here. This child needs a heart transplant. This beautiful child will not live without one. I want you to meet the baby's parents. Here are Jessie Sepulveda and Dina Binkley. And now here's where it gets complicated. They are not married. They do live together, and they are proud of their baby and want to raise their baby. Jessie is 26.
Yes, sir.
And Dina is 16.
17.
Jessie is working. Jessie has a job. But you may have read that the Loma Linda Hospital committee that decides who gets the services of the surgeons for transplantation, presuming the availability of a donor organ, chose to reject baby Jessie, and the roof fell in on Loma Linda Hospital.
Yes, it is.
This is Phil Donahue in New York City. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You're calling from, or we've called you. You're at Butterworth Hospital in Grand Rapids, I am told.
Right.
And at 10 o'clock this morning, as we speak, it's 9:40 Eastern, there will be a press conference at your hospital.
Yes.
At which what will be revealed?
We are donating a heart to the baby in Loma Linda, California.
Obviously, you've been in touch with Loma Linda.
Yes.
So Loma Linda is prepared to receive this organ.
Yes.
So this surgery could take place today.
It is scheduled to take place today.
We're going.
So it's even tougher to read. July 18th, 1993, New York Times. Jesse D. Sepulveda, Jr., whose heart transplant in 1986, when he was 16 days old, stirred a national debate over medical ethics and led to the creation of a new federal organ donor system, died Friday after a second heart transplant. He was 7, and he lived in Los Angeles. At a very moving funeral service, his father, whom you saw there, played the guitar and sang his own song of dedication to his son. And we'll be back in just a moment.
If the world just wore white, no one would worry about stains, because Clorox bleach could take them out.
But the world wears color, and stains on colors are a problem. Introducing new Clorox 2 Color Safe Bleach. With a new formula so powerful, it lifts greasy stains off colors, as well as Clorox bleach does off whites. Yet so safe you can pour it right on the stain. So when you get stains on colors, relax. You've got new Clorox 2.
It's amazing, but lots of homeowners didn't refinance their homes in 1993.
At the Money Store, you can refinance with just one phone call.
It's probably because people think they have to have perfect credit.
The Money Store Refinance. One loan, one payment.
We look for a way to pay off all those high-rate bills. The mortgage, the cards, all of them.
So you end up with one loan, one payment. Even if your credit is less than perfect, call the money store at 1-800-LOAN-YES. That's 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Well, it's all behind me now. I had to go bankrupt. I lost everything. I'd never felt so alone. All I had was my job and an old clunker that was on its last legs. Then I heard about the Auto Credit Approval Hotline. I called. They treated me with respect. They got me a great deal on a car, and they even took my old clunker as trade. It almost covered the down payment.
The Auto Credit Approval Hotline is a service of John L. Sullivan Chevrolet Geo. They employ automobile financing professionals completely sympathetic to your needs. Call 1-800-758-2728. The hotline is a no-hassle, no-embarrassment program that might make obtaining the vehicle you need a reality. Call toll-free 1-800-758-2728 anytime, day or night. Just a few simple questions, and that car you need might be yours. Call 1-800-758-2728 right now.
My bankruptcy nightmares are over.
If you've always dreamed of a career as a healthcare professional, Western Career College can help make that dream come true. Train to become a medical assistant, medical biller, pharmacy technician, veterinarian technician, dental assistant, or nursing assistant and home health aide. We offer financial aid and placement assistance to help make your dream come true at Western Career College. In Sacramento, call 1-800-321-2386. Call today.
You can do it!
Jane Fonda has appeared on The Donahue Show 5 times over the past 29 years. Her first visit to us was in November of 1970. Alas, that program does not survive. Our earliest tape was during the war still raged. We had started to disengage from Vietnam in 1972, and it was then that Miss Fonda appeared on The Donahue Show. Here's an excerpt of that program.
You just may be the most talked about personality in the country today. And not all the talk about you is good. There's a lot of hostility toward you. However, you tell me that in your recent visits to the Midwest, you find a friendly spirit?
I find a spirit that wants to learn. I have a very profound belief that the American people of whatever party, class, sector of the society, given information that they know is documented, will listen and want to do something about it. I think we all have a fundamental belief in the democratic ideals upon which this country was founded, and it's just a matter of getting the information.
Now, obviously, when you're engaged in this kind of emotional effort, you're exposed to some abuse, verbal abuse, and you've seen that, you've heard that.
I've given some out myself. Do you know that 2 years ago I didn't know where Vietnam was? And when people first started telling me what we were doing there, I used to insult people, so I understand when people insult me. It is hard to hear the true facts, and we're being lied to, and I deeply resent, as most Americans do, we have found, you know, from policemen to working people to housewives to everybody. When they find out that we're being lied to, they get angry. You know, and they want to change things.
Did you call Nixon a murderer?
I have called him a war criminal. I have called him a war criminal.
Now, you are quoted as calling him a murderer.
Oh, well, I'm quoted as saying a lot of things. I saw children, women, old people, homes, churches, schools leveled to the ground.
You are also quoted as saying that you don't believe there are two sides to this issue. Is it your position that North Vietnam is totally with honor and is in no way responsible for any kind of evil that many people see you so readily condemning on the part of Americans in South Vietnam?
I think that our responsibility as Americans is to concern ourselves with what our country is doing. I say our responsibility as Americans is to be concerned about what our country is doing. I believe that given the correct information, we will understand that if we were not there, there would be no fighting in Vietnam. It would stop, it would cease. You know, I'm 35 and I didn't know anything. I wasted 32 years of my life. And one of the reasons that I did is because, like most of us, I felt that I was helpless. I mean, just because I'm a movie actress and my father was a movie actor didn't make me feel that I had any more power than anybody else. I just felt, what can one person do? Nothing.
Our time is up. Jane Fonda, thank you for joining us
Thank
on
you,
this
Phil.
program. And thank you.
Thank you.
1972, Jane Fonda. As this look at Donahue shows throughout the 29 years that we've been on the air continues, you will see Louise Brown. You don't even know who she is. Who is she? The first test tube baby. We don't let everybody in here. The smartest audiences all of daytime. Also, Margaret Mead and Ayn Rand when we come back in just a moment.
Architectural firms need you. Civil engineers need you. High-tech companies need you. If you know computer-aided drafting, top companies need you today. To develop the computer-aided drafting skills employers are looking for, call ITT Technical Institute at 1-800-942-0088 for an informative brochure. That's 1-800-942-0088. But call now, because construction companies need you. City planners need you. Landscape architects need you.
Welcome to the future of drafting. Wow, I bet the guys that run this stuff spent years in school.
No, you might be surprised.
So what are the chances of me getting to work here?
Well, first of all, you gotta love to draw.
And second?
And second, you gotta call ITT Tech.
Call ITT Technical Institute at 1-800-942-0088 for an informative brochure. 1-800-942-0088.
If you call now and order Alhambra Home Delivery, we'll send you 10 gallons of pure, great-tasting water, free. And there's a lot you can do with 10 gallons of fresh, clear water. You can make 1,280 exceptionally refreshing ice cubes, or serve 160 incredibly delicious glasses. Try counting 73,680 perfectly clear, pure drops. Even quench the thirst of 640 kittens. Call now, and with your order, we'll deliver right to your door 10 gallons of great-tasting Alhambra water free. You don't even have to be home. We maintain our purity standards, checking quality more than 100 times a day. And you get your choice of any of these great-looking coolers. Every refreshing mouthful proves Alhambra tastes better. Call now, and you'll get 2 bottles, that's 10 gallons, of great-tasting Alhambra water free. And with all this free water, what will you do? Call 1-800-499-1623 now.
She was born Alice Rosenbaum of St. Petersburg, Russia, now Leningrad. The year of her birth, 1905. She wrote romance novels that had a very significant political message, and not a few people who read Atlas Shrugged, to name just one, felt that she had changed their lives. It was called objectivism. She felt that save me from the left-leaning, bleeding heart people who want to help everybody. The best way to bring the most help to the most people is to follow your own selfish interests. She was Ayn, rhymes with pine, A-Y-N, Ayn Rand, and she appeared on the Donahue Show in 1979 at the Felt Forum, Madison Square Garden. Here we are doing combat with her and the audience, Ayn Rand. I want to help people. I want to do good for other people. What's so bad about that?
Nothing. If you do it by your own choice, and if it's not your primary aim in life, and if you don't regard it as a moral virtue. On those conditions, it's fine to help people if you want to.
Why can't I think of it as a moral virtue? I mean, can't I take some vows for myself for doing all these good things?
Because that would be cannibalism. Because that would mean that you preach altruism, which means not merely kindness, but self-sacrifice. It means that you place the welfare of others above your own, that you live for others, for the sake of helping them, and that justifies your life. That's immoral, according to my morality.
I don't understand why you have to be so harsh in your evaluation of those people. Why call it immoral? Why don't you just say, why don't you say it's a waste of time? Why pass judgment on me?
Because look at the state of the world today.
Yeah.
And you cannot be harsh enough on those who created it. And those who created it are the philosophers of altruism. It's those who preach self-sacrifice, selflessness, self-abnegation, all the anti-self theories, which means anti-man. All those who demand man's sacrifice, they have succeeded, and look at the results in the war.
You realize, of course, that your critics suggest that this is a pie-in-the-sky, unpractical notion that you're offering to us, and that it sounds wonderful as you gather with the intellectuals at some university, but it doesn't work out on the street.
Quite the opposite. It's in the universities that it doesn't work, because all the leftist ideas and all the misrepresentation of capitalism come from leftist liberal professors. The universities are the real villains in the picture.
Okay. All right. You want...
But
okay,
I
go ahead.
want to make one slight postscript. I don't give a damn about my critics. There is no such thing as specifically a leader of women, just as it would be ridiculous to say you have leaders of only men.
Well, but the point is that women feel, because of the cultural inhibitors that have been placed on women, some sort of woman leadership is needed to compensate and to break those barriers and to make good all the grievances of the past.
You can do it only by education. If women feel that there is prejudice against them, you do it by spreading the right idea that women intellectually are not the inferior of men.
Of course not, but
physically they certainly
That's
are.
what feminists are doing. They're standing up and educating.
No, they're asking for government power and government handouts. They go around depriving men of jobs because you have to have quota of so many women.
But their point is that they have been denied jobs all these years, so let's get at it and start swinging for it.
You do not fight an evil if they think they're victims. I don't. But let us say, assuming that women have been treated unfairly, you don't fight an evil by adopting it and practicing it.
Well, what should they do? Be nice little girls and not say anything and stay home and break bread?
No.
Well, what should they do?
Go into any career of their choice except longshoremen or professional football player, as they're trying today, and fight for their career as every man has to fight.
Would you fight for anything?
How did I get here?
15 years ago, I was impressed with your books, and I sort of felt that your philosophy was proper. Today, however, I'm more educated, and I find that if a company...
This is what I don't answer.
Well, wait a minute. You haven't heard the question yet.
She's already estimated her position and my work, incidentally, displaying the quality of her brain. If she says today she is more educated...
I am more educated now than I was 15 years ago when I was in high school, before I went to college, and before I read the newspaper.
I'm not interested in your biography.
Let her make her point. Let her make her point. Let her make her point.
I will not answer anyone who is impolite, but to show you...
She wasn't impolite.
I do not sanction impoliteness, and I am not the victim of hippies. But...
Hippies?
That's where it started. The dropping of politeness and of manner.
You're equating someone who disagrees with you with impoliteness. That's not fair.
No. If you didn't... If you didn't interrupt me, I would have demonstrated what I mean. I will, to show you that I'm not evading the question, if anyone else wants to ask the same question politely, I'll be delighted to answer.
Well, there was nothing impolite. You are punishing this woman for the vigor and energy that she brought to the dialogue. And that's not fair to her. This is the kind of woman we spend a long time trying to attract to our television audience.
I do not, and I've said repeatedly, I don't want to interfere with anyone or force anything on them. You have to make those distinctions voluntarily and yourself. The distinction is, let the whole world disagree with me if it wants to. Doesn't mean that if I want to be tolerant, I will change my ideas. I want to hold only my ideas. I don't approve of those who preach the opposite, and I don't think that the freedom to utter nonsense is the first freedom. The freedom is your right to your life.
I don't think you want the responsibility of deciding what in every case is nonsense.
No.
All right.
What my
So-
policy is, I don't deal with those who disagree.
All right, well-
They don't agree, fine, they shouldn't deal with me.
Ayn Rand lost her husband in 1979, the year of that first appearance. Ayn Rand was an atheist who said, if I believed in a hereafter, I'd kill myself so that I could be with my husband. Ayn Rand's books included The Fountainhead, Atlas Shrugged, and other works. Ayn Rand died alone in her apartment on March 6th, 1982. And we'll be back with the world's first test tube baby in just a moment.
Playgirl's 1992 Man of the Year makes a shocking appearance.
Tell the audience what?
That I'm gay. Next, Donahue.
He wears it all the time. It's not just his favorite shirt, it's his lucky shirt. Don't risk it, whisk it. Introducing new Whisk with Color Hold bleaching action. Whisk's special Color Hold formula gets rid of tough stains and keeps colors bright. No matter how many times...
Hi, Mom.
...you wash...
Hi, Mom.
...his favorite shirt.
Hi, Mom.
Don't risk it, whisk it. New Whisk with Color Hold bleaching action.
Oh, I see you found new Easy Squeeze Country Crock.
Yes, I did. It's more squeezable.
Looks like squeeze-moreable.
Hey, the more Country Crock, the merrier.
You have a point.
Yeah, it's so thick and creamy.
You know, Country Crock's the thickest.
Really?
Really. So much thicker that Country Crock made an easier-to-use bottle.
Oh, that's why it's upside down.
Right, so you can get even more out of it.
Well, that's easy.
Easier to squeeze, too.
Yeah, kind of like me.
Easy, boy, easy.
New Shed Spread Country Crock Easy Squeeze. So thick, we had to make it easier to use and squeeze.
Springfield's teachers walk out.
The school's on strike. Maybe forever. Pleasure overload.
And a surprise substitute steps in.
Hello, class. Hi, Bart. Over here, sweetie. It's me, Mom.
Can Marge tame her wild child?
May I? Thank you.
It's a Simpson safari through the blackboard jungle.
Hey, Bart, what about the booby trap?
The Simpsons.
Monday at 7:30 on Q58.
Stop taking no for an answer. You can drive a car today.
I called and got it.
Call Florin Road Toyota Second Chance Financing, 1-800-515-1000.
I thought bankruptcy was the end.
Second Chance Financing is a new beginning. Call 1-800-515-1000. Yes, you can drive today. Yes, you can get credit today. Yes, you can own a car.
Second Chance. What a lifesaver. Thank you.
Call Florin Road Toyota Second Chance Financing, 1-800-515-1000.
With thousands of cases passing through the courtrooms of our great city, a good lawyer always makes a difference in obtaining the best settlements. If you have been injured, it is imperative that you are represented by an attorney with the experience and know-how to get you what you deserve. Major Help Center, 1-800-MAJOR-HELP. You will speak immediately with an attorney in your area with years of experience in personal and accident injury. 1-800-MAJOR-HELP. Major Help Center, 1-800-MAJOR-HELP.
Hey, Sacramento, did you know you had a choice? We have the channels you want to watch for as little as $21.95 per month. Exciting movies with the biggest stars in Hollywood. Our low $9.95 installation includes free programmable remote with other convenient features like parental control. Your $21.95 also includes the Disney Channel. So don't wait. Call Wireless Broadcasting Systems today, 928-2600. We have the channels you want to watch.
Well, in vitro fertilization, how common is that today? You put that egg in the dish and you get all those little squigglies in there and boom, you got a fertilized egg implanted in the side of the womb and hey, motherhood. Louise Brown, the first test tube baby on Donahue, September 7th, 1979. Roll the tape.
She is the person around whom so much attention has swirled over these past several months. She is medical history. For the first time in history, this human being was born conceived, as we say, in vitro, outside her mother's womb, and then the implantation was made, and you're going to believe that it worked when you see this lovely human being. Her name is Louise, and her parents are Leslie and John Brown, and I am pleased to present this happy family to you. Mr. and Mrs. Brown, please.
Did you feel pregnant right away?
I did. I believed I was pregnant.
Did you get morning sickness, or
No.
eat cracked ice and pickles and anything like that?
No.
Did you have nausea?
No. Not at all.
There's been 3 of these successfully done. Yes. In the world. Yes. 3. Yes. Why aren't there more?
Well, to begin with, Mr. Steptoe and Dr. Hedritz have been working at this for 10 years, and they have had a lot of failures because they were exploring unknown territory.
Yes. But I'm sorry to interrupt, but you know how we were impatient. Look, it worked, let's go. Hey, line them up.
Well, it's still not that easy.
If the baby had been malformed, or if amniocentesis had indicated problems with the formation of the baby, any irregularity at all, you agreed to an abortion, didn't you?
Oh, yes, yes. Because I think anyone, myself, my wife, or any family would agree on, they would like to bring a deformed baby into the world.
Yeah. I mean, you're good. Darling. That's where I got her. Are you having any fun? Would you do it again, Mrs. Brown? Yeah. You would? You'd be a little bit more... You want to talk about that, Mr. Brown?
Sorry,
Would you do it again?
Certainly. No hesitation.
Didn't you pay an awfully big price, though, for the publicity that's attended this?
I think any person who can't have children will pay any price to have a child. Well, me and my wife, we do not like the term test tube. Because I think there was a hell of a lot of secrecy at the time, obvious, because it was so important. And the media had to form their own conclusions. And I think this is where everything went wrong, as regards to the term test tube baby.
Mm-hmm. When will it be common? Do you want to speak to that, Dr. Supar?
Well, let's say that within 10 years from now, it's going to be a current procedure.
First, let me show you a picture of Louise Brown. This was taken 3 years ago. There she is being celebrated in a parade. People magazine alerted its readers in 1994 to the fact that she still lived in Bristol, England with her folks. And she says she has a test tube sister, Natalie, who was 11 in 1994. Louise, nicknamed Browners, attends secondary school, likes to swim and ride horses, idolizes Tom Cruise, watches MTV, and when people ask her how she got out of that test tube, she has a ready answer. I wasn't in a test tube, she replies. It was a Petri dish. Incidentally, he predicted this would become somewhat commonplace. Well, that was the first test tube baby. We've had 26,000 children conceived in vitro since Louise Brown, who visited the Donahue show in 1979. And now, may I direct your attention to Margaret Mead, visiting us in February of 1970. This is 27 years ago. This is the anthropologist who said, among other things, we are too many of us married. We're the most over-married culture on earth, and lots of other controversial things. Here's Margaret Mead on the Donahue show 27 years ago. I got black hair.
You sort of paint yourself here as a terribly, as a very black sheep.
I don't say I was a black sheep.
Everybody-
I say I had a chance to experience what it's like to be rejected when you're not a black sheep.
You do suggest that suicide may, under some circumstances, be a noble choice.
Certainly.
You'll agree that that's a really, that's a view held by very few people.
Is it? You're too young to remember the Depression, when hundreds of men in this country committed suicide so as to give their wives and children some kind of income, and that was the only thing they could do. You've forgotten. And nobody condemned them. They said how noble. They were providing for their wives and children.
Does that bother you to be thought of as senile? I mean, to be called senile?
No, it doesn't worry me very much
Well,
right now.
now, what did I goof again? The people who disagree with her, she has established, accuse her of being senile, so they think of her as senile. Clearly, she is not. You're really enjoying this, aren't you?
Well, I'm not disenjoying it.
Yeah. But you know that I'm dying a little bit because you're doing very little talking. I'm doing most of the talking.
Does that make you die?
Oh, yes. I'll get all kinds of male people. The people who admire you will say, "Why didn't you let that woman speak, dummy? Why did you have to talk so much?" And the people who think that you're a radical and all the bad names they've called you will say,
Why'd you ever let her on there at all? Won't they?
yeah. Or we'll say,
So I'm helping you. Probably the worst thing about the school system at present is that the kids are bored. And we catch them and we keep them indoors for sometimes as many as 12 years being bored.
we catch them.
Certainly. That's what a school is. That's what my New Guinea people know. What's a school? Well, you catch the children, you line them up by size, you march them in, you sit them down, you tell them to keep quiet. That's a school.
Who's to decide which religion should belong to everybody? And isn't that the beginning of atrocity and religious wars? And because I want my religion to belong to everybody. Bang, you don't agree.
The beginning of religious wars and all wars is lain in territoriality, that people have learned that we have to defend our territory against theirs, whether it's religious or ideological or just plain language or country. As long as we were defending nothing but land, and you couldn't stand on the same land I did, we had defensive territory. And so it was very hard. People went to church on Sunday and talked about the brotherhood of man, and on Monday they blessed people who went to Vietnam and killed people. Up to date, wait a minute, up to date. But nevertheless, they had a better idea. They had the idea of the brotherhood of man, and they've kept it alive for thousands of years. And now, maybe we have a chance to carry it out, because now we share the air and the oceans together, and there isn't any territory anymore. So possibly people won't have to be brought up to kill other people in the name of protecting their own country, as they've had to do in the past.
Margaret Mead lived for 8 years after this interview. After a long battle with cancer, she died on November 15th, 1978. The New York Times. Dr. Mead was not only an anthropologist and ethnologist of the first rank, but also something of a national oracle on other subjects ranging from atomic politics to feminism, wrote Alan Whitman in his obituary of Margaret Mead, as reported by the New York Times in 1978. And we'll be back with Milton Friedman, the Nobel Prize-winning economist, who says, among other things, we should legalize drugs, in just a moment.
If you've been hurt in a car accident or any kind of accident, you may need a lawyer. A lawyer may be able to get you money. Call 1-800-677-2020. Speak with a lawyer near you for free. You may be entitled to money. So if you've been hurt in a car accident or any kind of accident, call toll-free 1-800-677-2020. Speak with a lawyer about your accident. Call toll-free 1-800-677-2020.
Listen closely. I am going to offer you the chance to save hundreds of dollars and win a free trip for two to Hawaii. Here's how. Pick up a phone and call Abraham and Associates for a car insurance quote. Their agents will shop for the lowest rates in more than 120 insurance companies. That's more than any agency in Sacramento. They can save you money and even help out with the down payment. One caller will win a trip to Waikiki. You don't have to buy a policy from us, but we're betting you will. Call Abraham and Associates now.
Water. Water.
Yoo-hoo! Hello there! Over here! You are gonna love this. Crystal's new returnable half-gallon of pure mountain spring water. Nice, huh? Yeah, believe it or not, that baby costs less than those liter bottles at the store. And it's home delivered. Now here's something special. Crystal's spill-proof system. Wouldn't want to spill any water now, would we? Comes on 3 and 6-gallon bottles and stackable. Boy, all this talking's making me thirsty. All right, big finish. Crystal Water's new carbonated cooler. Now, doesn't that just look delicious? Hold that. I want to get it. Well, who's thirsty?
For home delivery of Crystal Mountain Spring Water, call 1-800-CRYSTAL.
All righty then. Your first delivery's gonna be Tuesday. Tuesday. Is it hot out here or is it me?
As a leader of the Chicago School of Economics, a school of economic thought that calls for an end to government intervention in all its aspects, in all aspects of the economy, I should say, correction, in all aspects of the economy. Where have we heard this before? Milton Friedman, the Nobel laureate, has seen his position gain the ascendancy in recent years. We know what that means. And then I asked Milton Friedman, a long time ago. This dates back to 1976. Here he is discussing the legalization of drugs.
One of the problems of our society is that by having all responsibility assigned to the government, we have removed the pressure on individuals to be responsible for themselves, to feel that they have a set of values that they are entitled to pursue. So that, no, I don't believe there's...
I assume then that if somebody wants to smoke marijuana, that's their business too.
That's his business, absolutely.
Are we going to take that to heroin and addiction?
Absolutely. Now, let me go back on that one, because that's a very interesting thing. Even if on ethical principles, you believe it is right to prevent somebody else from smoking heroin, as a matter of expediency, it's a terrible mistake. The largest...
So is jumping off the bridge.
No, I don't mean that. I mean it's a terrible mistake for society to render heroin illegal, because that increases the harm which heroin does. Why do we have so much crime in the inner cities and in the cities? Over 50% of it is attributed to crime for the sake of acquiring money to buy heroin. Why is heroin so expensive? Because it's illegal. We went through this with prohibition. Whether you believe it's right or wrong to prevent people from drinking alcohol, we had the experience with prohibition in which we found that it did more harm than good. Let me point out for a moment that more lives are lost each year through drinking alcohol than through heroin.
But
if there's a case, if you're going to make the case for preventing heroin on the basis of saving lives, there's a much stronger case for prohibition of alcohol.
Because more people die consuming alcohol than ever died inhaling marijuana. This was 1979. I said 76. 1979. He has since been joined publicly by no less a figure than William Buckley. And while I don't want to misrepresent General McCaffrey, who now is our drug czar, who is not signing off on legalization, but he has made the point, we cannot arrest ourselves out of this problem. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Whew! What died in here? Yuck. You ever find a smelly, dirty mess so awful you need some kind of super strength to clean it? Then try new professional strength Pine Sol. It's even 40% stronger than regular Pine Sol. So you know it can handle your toughest, smelliest messes, living or dead. New professional strength Pine Sol, the strongest household cleaner you can buy.
Sometimes things don't go quite the way we want them to, and can be pretty hard on our bodies. Being in pain is no fun. The specialists at California Back and Neck Pain have helped thousands with the finest doctors available. Most cases, no cost to you at all. Call now for a free exam so you can have fun again. California Back and Neck Pain. Appointments available 24 hours a day. Call now, 1-800-983-PAIN.
It's amazing, but lots of homeowners didn't refinance their homes in 1993.
At the Money Store, you can refinance with just one phone call.
It's probably because people think they have to have perfect credit.
The Money Store Refinance. One loan, one payment.
We look for a way to pay off all those high-rate bills. The mortgage, the cards, all of them.
So you end up with one loan, one payment. Even if your credit is less than perfect, call the Money Store at 1-800-LOAN-YES. That's 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Dental health care in this country is changing, and you can become a part of it by being a dental assistant. Call now. As a dental assistant, you'll be working with a dentist, taking x-rays, caring for patients, and performing dental procedures. The working conditions and the hours are great. Don't miss this exciting opportunity to become a dental assistant or train for one of these other exciting careers. Call High Tech Institute Medical Careers now at 929-9700, 929-9700.
If you've been labeled a high-risk driver, pay attention. Cheap Insurance will insure you for the lowest possible rates, guaranteed.
That's right. Cheap Insurance guarantees the lowest possible rates.
If you need insurance to get back on the road.
If you've been refused insurance because of your driving record.
If you're paying high premiums now, call Cheap Insurance for the lowest possible rates, guaranteed. Or we'll give you a 35mm camera absolutely free. Call 800-652-1010 now for the lowest possible rates, guaranteed.
For a transcript of Donahue, send $3 to Journal Graphics, 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203. Or call 303-831-9000. To order a video cassette for only $24.95, just call 1-800-FOR-VIDEO.
In 1982, the Donahue Show was the first program to devote an entire program to a brand new something or other. We weren't sure. I could hardly pronounce the name. It was called autoimmune deficiency syndrome, and thus AIDS entered our language. This is 1982, and following that you will see a series of programs that we've devoted to this, the most ominous health emergency of our time. When we did our program in 1982, there were 300 dead. This segment will make you cry. It concludes with Ryan White's funeral and Michael Jackson singing a song which he wrote and dedicated to Ryan, titled Gone Too Soon. Our first clip, 1982, 300 dead.
Here are the numbers on this. 732 cases reported, 284
Over
deaths.
9,000 Americans have been diagnosed with AIDS.
Our stats show that over
400,000 Americans may be infected. 40,000 Americans could.
33,000 reported cases.
What do you do to make a government fight to do something to save 40,000 people?
19,000 deaths. As of August 1990, total AIDS cases in the United States, 146,000.
This year, 10 to 12 million people worldwide will become infected with the AIDS virus.
This is Sam. Sam is crazy about me. What is not so funny is that Sam has been tested HIV positive. That means he has the AIDS virus.
My mom sat me down on the floor, and my mom and dad, and then they said, you have a serious blood problem and it's AIDS.
I was 18 years old when I told my boyfriend that we no longer needed to use condoms because I was on the birth control pill. My boyfriend died of AIDS. My parents say that this is a punishment from God.
It was very frightening because they really thought I might die. And I couldn't believe that I could die. I mean, I hadn't told anybody, hadn't said goodbye to anybody.
Right.
My family didn't know anything. CNN didn't know anything about it. And I told everyone to stay away.
I'm only 34 years old. I want to see my children grow and have kids and be very close. And we used to do a lot of things together that we can't do right now.
Mr. Kushnick demands that AIDS appear on the death certificate of his son. The funeral home sees AIDS on the death certificate, and what did they say?
They said that they wouldn't touch the body because he had died from AIDS.
We were in Israel in June, and we brought him back a prayer shawl for his bar mitzvah. So we buried him in his prayer shawl.
There is one area where virtually nothing has been done at the government level, and this is public education. And it is so ridiculous because,
Hasn't
as
that
I
changed,
said,
though? Haven't we?
No, sir, it hasn't.
No.
Haven't some of your technicians here at NBC walked off your set today because I have AIDS?
Yes.
Is that not true?
The answer to your question is yes.
Then that answers your question. There is a definite need for education. There is, Mr. Donahue, there is you are in no danger being here with me.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
You see, it's
I
safe.
agree there is no
It's
danger.
safe.
Did you ever think, why me? Why did I get the AIDS virus?
Yeah, I have thought that, but I think maybe, this is just some kind of test, maybe to find out, how much I can take.
Here are today's numbers.
Phil, I must say also, you talk about the numbers for women. These are the ones we know of. This is part of the problem, is that people, because they believe they're not at risk, they don't get tested. So therefore, we don't even know how many people out there are really HIV positive.
This is about seeing the pain. This is about not sanitizing bad news. This is about telling the truth. And here it is. This is Eric.
Most people are always doing things that I can't do. I mean, my friends ask me over sometimes, and I'm sick, and they probably wonder why I'm sick all the time.
Do they know why you're sick?
No,
What's the force that keeps driving you?
my parents and the Bible.
Are you okay? That's good.
This shouldn't be happening because, we're saying the same things that we've been saying for 5 years, 10 years even, and nothing's changed. People are still getting infected, and they're not, they're not learning anything new.
If you had to do it all over again, and you had a choice of having AIDS and being like a role model for other kids with AIDS, or just being not have AIDS, what would you choose?
Well, probably just to be a normal kid, but I figure, since this is the way the hand was dealt, that I gotta live with it this way, and I'm gonna try to help anybody I can.
Ryan
you think about your future, why should you consider Sequoia Institute? Just ask recent graduates.
In the ASC, the degree course, it's going to help me out within the management position and be able to work along with employees to start up my own business. It gives me a move in life if I do decide to open a business on my own.
I made the sacrifice to provide a better living for my family.
Call Sequoia Institute today for technical training that will take you into the next century.
Hey, Sacramento, did you know you had a choice? We have the channels you want to watch for as little as $21.95 per month. Exciting movies with the biggest stars in Hollywood. Our low $9.95 installation includes free programmable remote with other convenient features like parental control. Your $21.95 also includes the Disney Channel. So don't wait. Call Wireless Broadcasting Systems today. 928-2600. We have the channels you want to watch.
A man started pounding on our back door. My children were home alone. He almost got in. My oldest daughter pushed the Brinks panic button. The man stopped and ran away.
Help avoid break-ins. Put Brinks in. The Brinks home security system, only $149 installed. That's a $50 savings. Call 1-800-9-BRINKS. When it comes to home security, America thinks Brinks.
My children are grown, and now I have the career I've always wanted. It just took a few months.
Medical assisting was my first choice.
Me too. I work during the day and take classes at night.
The hardest thing is picking up the phone. Everything else is easy.
We did, so can you!
For a brochure, call the Sawyer campus at 1-800-722-7337. That's 1-800-722-7337. Call now.
That HIV-infected figure, you saw that, said 1 million. That is a reasonably accurate figure, as accurate as we can ascertain. We will never know who has died without the of HIV-positive results without having reported it. But it is approximately 1 million people infected in the United States today. And we have lost 319,849 irreplaceable human beings to this worldwide virus. This has been our look down memory lane of some of the programs that we've featured on the Donahue program for the past 29 years, and we thank you for joining us.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
The Ocedar 2000 Twist and Mop has twice the absorbency of a sponge mop and rings out with a twist.
Ocedar makes your life easier.
Would you pay a quarter for a good night's sleep? That's all you pay for one capsule of Compose Sleep Aid. So get a good night's sleep for a quarter with Compose. C-O-M-P-O-Z.
1-800-US-SEARCH. Locate almost anyone for only $39.95 plus $10 processing. Call Nick and Rob. 1-800-US-SEARCH.
A couple of high-spying parents.
See Mommy picking the big lock?